today I am holding the mic with my hand. It just feels like a day where I want to hold it with my hand instead of clip it onto my shirt. So that's what's going to happen. Hello, everyone. It's Nina DeGroot on the Thought Daughter podcast. Welcome back, or welcome to the podcast. I am so glad you're here. And today it is just me. I have no one else with me today because, first of all, I was feeling lazy and I did have the opportunity to film with other people, and we said, not today. So that never happened. And second, there was ACT testing this week. And unfortunately, I am one of the unlucky people who had to take it. Or maybe lucky, depending on how you look at it. And so that kind of took it out of me for the week. I'm already filming this a little bit late. And honestly, we're just going to hope for the best. This episode might be a complete wreck. And we're going to go with it. And it's just going to be a fun old time. And hopefully everything goes semi back to normal next week. Today's episode is going to be all about gossip. Boo, tomato, tomato. No one likes gossip. Gossip isn't fun. Unless you're the person spreading it. Sometimes then it is fun, but it's not good. It's definitely not good. I wish on every single one of these I could say it's a fun subject, but honestly it's just a deep subject and it has a lot of different twists and turns to it that we get to talk about. We're going to talk about the psychology of gossip. We're going to talk about why we gossip, where it comes from, and also what we can do to help not spread gossip. Even though in this society, it's always going to be here. No matter what, gossip is just going to happen. The first thing we're going to talk about is what is the definition of gossip? What are we even talking about? Gossip is the act of sharing personal information for or about others, especially when they are not present. Or also information that simply maybe isn't even theirs, but you keep spreading it, and it could be considered personal to someone. This could include negative gossip. This could include things like something personal that's happening in someone's life, mental health related issues that you should not be spreading. This includes literally any mental health issue unless someone is openly saying that they want to be more open about it. And even then, it's not your job to spread it around, so calm down. I will say, before I talk more about gossip and we start this, while I was thinking and researching for this episode, I was kind of feeling a little bit hypocritical. But it's true, I was feeling like a hypocrite because, in case none of you have noticed, I am a teenage girl. And before you say, oh, you look like you're 89, I know, I am a teenage girl. But being a teenage girl, there's a lot of gossip. If you know any teenage girls and you ask them if they have heard gossip or gossip before, most likely it'll be a yes to both. And unfortunately, I do have a habit of gossiping sometimes, and it does happen. And mostly it's around people that I don't have the kindest of ideas and feelings for, which honestly, that's something I need to work on because it doesn't do any good. But with that being said, we're going to talk about gossip with the hope and intention to learn something new and to get better and to just be better. We're going to jump into more of the psychology side of gossip for a minute. I found this lovely article called The Psychology of Gossip, and It's Not Good. It's literally The Psychology of Gossip, ... and it's not good. The first thing this kicks off with is we all claim to hate it. We all say we despise it, but we really all do it. The fact is, we claim to all hate gossip. So we know what gossip is. We know that gossip is the spreading of information that is not our own information. But where does gossip come from? What is gossip? In the sense that we don't need a dictionary definition of what is gossip, but what does gossip say about us? Specifically talking about negative gossip. Gossip that could be spreading negative ideas or extremely personal information about someone else that we should not have or be sharing. Or maybe we should have, but we don't have the right to share. One thing it says in this article is gossip is entitlement. In this article, right before this, she talks about a personal gossip story that she has. And I'm going to read a little bit of this section after she says gossip is entitlement. We have a tendency in trusting any gossip, no matter how outrageous it may sound. And that has something to do with what's going on deep inside our hearts and minds. Yes, our tendency to gossip says more about the state of our own heart than others. which I actually think is kind of cool because I've definitely had experiences where people will tell me gossip and I kind of go, what? No way. But I'm not actually thinking no way because I'm going to take in whatever I can get. Whatever is so outrageous, it's entertaining. Unfortunately, gossip is entertaining. And I think that's one of the reasons it's so fun. I don't want to say the word fun, but one of the reasons it's so engaging, we'll say that. One of the reasons so much gossip is so engaging is because it's so outrageous. To me, sometimes I feel like it's a form of entertainment, which it should not be because it's someone else's personal life and information. But unfortunately, it can be seen like entertainment because it can be so outrageous. And because it is so outrageous, people can twist it and make it look like other things. When really, gossip isn't always the truth. In fact, gossip after being spread around, it's like the telephone game. You hear one thing at one end, and then at the other end, it's something completely different. That's how gossip works. The more it gets spread, the more twisted it's going to get. And gossip is almost never always the pure truth because people can perceive what you're telling them different ways. And then it gets passed around and everyone perceives it differently and adds on to it a little bit to based on what they think is true from what they were told. You should know that not all gossip is bad, but all slander is gossip. Slander is when you spread unconfirmed negative report or information about someone without attaching any proof or truth. Yes, it is equivalent to lying. Your gossip of someone that you heard from someone else is equivalent to a lie. For those people that are trying to make a new goal, for those people who are trying to make a new goal to say, I'm not going to lie as much. Your gossip about other people, if it's something negative and you don't have truth to tie to it, is lying. Gossip is so closely tied to lying, and that's not good. However, even when you're sharing true information about somebody publicly, despite knowing that this person may not be comfortable sharing that information publicly, you are engaging in harmful gossip. We're going to talk a little bit about why we gossip. Yes, gossip happens, but why does almost everyone gossip? Why has everyone gossiped at least once in their life? From this same article, it says, now let's understand why we gossip. It is said that two people become best friends when they have a common enemy. Often great friendships begin with a common dislike for something or someone. When you have nothing else to offer, you bring in juicy details of someone else's life into the conversation, and pretty much every person at the table falls into the temptation. Understand that gossip is a fundamental human function. Sharing general well-being about friends and family, sharing details about your daily life, your problems, etc. with friends in confidence is not gossip. It is when you start to indulge way too much in other people's lives that it becomes your single or most go-to source of happiness or topic about conversation becomes a problem. You talking about your own personal things and confiding in friends, especially if it's multiple friends, that is not gossip. It does become gossip when that is your only source of entertainment and when it starts becoming you are also sharing for other people. You confiding in someone and you just wanting to let it out or let someone know something that happened to you, not gossip. You realizing that a friend sitting across from you in a class did something a little strange and telling people about it, that is gossip. That is their personal life and personal information, and you don't have the right to share that. Another thing it talks about in this article that I really like is that gossip is you showing other people that you have low self-esteem, and also that you can't find interesting topics about yourself to talk about with other people. You have to turn to other people's interesting and absurd, crazy lives to be interesting to other people. You need to find things that make yourself happy and interesting. You should not be relying on other people's personal life for your own personal life. When I was researching, there was a lot talking about how when people have common interests, it creates intimacy. And I'm not talking about like romantic intimacy. I'm just talking about intimacy in general. When there's a common interest, you become closer because you have something to talk about. That can be a common enemy, and a lot of times this happens through gossip. If you are gossiping about someone and you both have heard things, you both have seen things, there's going to be a common interest there. And when I was thinking about this a little bit, I realized that that is such a fake relationship with you and the person that you're gossiping with. Not even the person you're gossiping about. That is fake beyond levels if you're gossiping about someone and you think you have a relationship with them. I'm talking about if you are trying to have a relationship with someone and the only reason you guys are getting there is through gossip, through having a common interest about someone else, I feel like that just shows that you are not as close with that person as you think, because the only thing you guys can be in sync about and think and talk together about is someone else. And I think that shows a real lack of a real relationship. I think that shows lack of intimacy. And I think if your form of getting closer to someone is gossip through someone else, I think that says a lot more about how you form relationships than anything. As well as gossip happening as something to bring people together, something to bring common interests so people can grow closer, gossip is also a major defense mechanism. Defense mechanisms are unconscious psychological processes that protect the self from anxiety-producing thoughts and feelings related to internal conflicts and external stressors. Defense mechanisms are things that your brain makes up and does to protect itself from outside world things. Like, if you have a test, your defense mechanism for that might be making sure you know absolutely everything about the topic that's going to be on that test, or your defense mechanism could be you're not going to even think about the test because that's too stressful. It could go either way. Another article I found about defense mechanisms is from the Relational Psych by Dr. Carly Claney, published on November 21st, 2024. And she defines defense mechanisms as psychological strategies that individuals use unconsciously to protect themselves from anxiety and the perception of internal or external dangers or stressors. Very similar. Things that you do sometimes maybe without you even knowing. Your brain is this super cool thing that just kind of works on its own, and it will develop these defense mechanisms to do what your brain thinks is best for you. When I was reading about gossip is described as a defense mechanism, which makes a lot of sense, because if you are going through something hard, it might be easier to talk about someone else's hard thing instead of your own. It might be easier if your life is boring or you don't feel like you're getting anything done. Your defense mechanism for not feeling boring and lazy could be talking about other people who are going through hard things or going through things that are absurd and crazy, so you don't feel that way. Now that we know what gossip is, I wanted to talk a little bit about what gossip does. We're strictly going to talk about negative gossip for a minute. When you gossip negatively about someone, you not only are showing the kind of person you are, the kind of person that will spread information, the kind of person that seeks entertainment from others, you are showing the world that you can't keep trust. You are showing the world the kind of person you are. And I say all this, and I need everyone to take this with a grain of salt, because I feel when I talk about gossip, it makes me sound like I'm this all-knowing, amazing person that knows exactly what I'm talking about, and I seem changed, and like I'm an individual that could never experience gossip. I'm pretty sure I gossiped today. When this comes out, I will have probably gossiped that day. I will probably gossip for the rest of my life, but it's something I want to work on and catch myself doing so I can become better. You think of just the spread of information. Most of that spread of information can be considered gossip. And with that being said, I personally do not believe there is ever going to be a time on this earth when gossip does not exist. For the rest of the time that humans are alive, and for the rest of the time that humans have a brain and have agency and can think, there will be gossip. However, with there always being negative gossip, I think that gives us a really good opportunity to create positive gossip. This idea of positive gossip could be someone working at fast food. Someone gets a job that they really, really wanted. Maybe someone gets a job at a restaurant somewhere that they have always wanted to work at. Maybe it's their favorite restaurant ever. My idea of positive gossip maybe could be, oh, you know our good friend? They actually just got a job working in fast food, and that is going to be so good for them because they do so well in pressured situations and they talk to people so well and they're so good at customer service. I'm so excited for them to work there because it's going to be so great for them. That is positive gossip. That is still personal information. It's still gossip. It's still me sharing not my own information, but someone else's personal information. But it's in a way that is uplifting and joyful. And instead of being like, she just got a job at fast food, it's she just got a job at fast food and she's going to do so good because she's so good at working with people. Do we see the connection? Do we see the link? I set a new goal for myself while I was researching for this video. I decided for every bit of gossip, every bit of negative gossip I hear or accidentally spread, I need to follow it up with a positive piece of gossip. Maybe I'm talking about someone I don't love. I'm also going to follow it up with, yeah, they are going through a hard time. And honestly, there was this one time when we were in class and they made me laugh so hard and they are just so funny. Or maybe, yes, maybe they are going through a hard time. Also, did you see their outfit today? It was so cool. And I wish I could dress like that. I wish I had the confidence to dress like that. That is positive gossip. I think there's no way our society will get rid of negative gossip. But I think if we can all counter it with positive gossip and sharing things that are positive and sharing things about people that will uplift. And think of it this way. If you are sharing something about someone and it were to get back to them, you want it to be uplifting to them. If you are having a hard time determining what is positive and what is negative gossip, just think, what if it got back to that person that I'm talking about? Would they be happy to hear that? I think the best thing we can do is having the mindset to help other people. I feel like while I'm saying this, it sounds like I'm saying you cannot have negative perceptions of other people. That is natural. Having negative things or opinions about others that aren't always positive is natural because you're protecting yourself. Maybe you have a negative opinion about something because of something that happened. Maybe it was a break of trust. Maybe it was something that happened to a family member close to you. Maybe they did something that you witnessed that you completely goes against what you believe. I am simply saying, in a world where there is so much gossip, why put out more? And if there is gossip and you feel the need to gossip, think about it. Think, would I be happy with this happening to me? Would I be happy with them sharing information about me that maybe I don't want everyone to hear? I feel like I've yapped about this enough. To wrap things up, spread positive gossip. Be the kind of person that spreads positivity and things about others that other people that are hearing that would also want to hear about themselves. And I invite everyone watching or listening to make the goal, when you hear negative gossip, follow it up with positive gossip. If you can find absolutely nothing to say about the person that's being gossiped about, that could be positive. Maybe there's something horrible that happened and you literally cannot find anything. Ignore the conversation. Walk away or start talking about something else. In a world where there is so much negativity, there's no need to spread it about. I think that's all I have to say. I wish I could talk about this for so much longer, but unfortunately I have to go to work in an hour and I still need to get ready and edit. So I love you all. My positive gossip is that anyone who takes the time out of their day to listen to me yap is the loveliest and kindest person ever, because they're listening to me yap and they're listening to me literally just have a fun time. This is Nina DeGroot on the Thought Daughter podcast, and I will see you all next week on Monday. Bye!